Yo, this is Mo here, and in today's video, I'm gonna talk about 3 energy-sucking foods that are destroying your testosterone levels and hindering your ability to show up as a man. But before diving into the video, I just want to go over a quick point about the current state of nutrition science. So it's very easy to cherry pick from the data at this point, all right? So that means that you can have 2 people with completely opposite views who have the scientific research to back up their completely opposite views, all right? And the reason for this is because of a concept known as bio-individuality. So your genetics are very different from my genetics, and my biological background is very different from your biological background. And what this means is that there's no such thing as a perfect diet for all of humanity, because everyone varies on an individual basis. So a food that you eat that might be healthy for you might be causing inflammation in my body, so it's not healthy for me. So there's no such thing as the perfect diet, and there's no such thing as a healthy, universally healthy food, because every food affects everyone differently based on their individual characteristics. That being said, there is one thing that the science is unequivocally clear on, and that is that Western diet creates chronic disease, all right? So you have, for example, the traditional Inuit tribes up in the north, Eskimos, who eat a diet that's mostly fat. They don't have chronic disease. Then you have the Maasai tribe in eastern parts of Africa. They eat mostly protein, but again, they don't have chronic disease. Then you have the Native American tribes who eat a diet that's mostly carbs, and again, they don't have chronic disease. But when you track the spread of the Western diet, you can also track the spread of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, depression. All of these diseases can be traced back to the spread of the Western diet. And they actually did a study out in the Australian outback where they brought traditional tribes and put them on the Western diet, and they found that chronic diseases emerged. And then when they took them off the Western diet, they found that the chronic diseases disappeared, all right? So if the research is clear on one thing, it's that the traditional Western diet is destroying your health and well-being. So what is the characteristics of this Western diet? Well, scientists tell us that what we eat has changed more in the past 100 years than had changed in the past 100,000 years. And it can all be traced back to the industrialization of food. And large-scale industrial processing actually introduced us to 3 foods in particular that are not only killing your testosterone levels, but they're hindering your ability to show up towards your full potential. And it is these 3 foods that I'll talk about in this video. So the first testosterone killing food that you seriously need to avoid is sugar. So in the year 1700, the average person ate about 5 pounds of sugar per year, all right? It was considered a luxury. But after large-scale industrial food processing, today, what would you guess is the average consumption of the average American of sugar? Well, how much sugar does the average American consume per year? How much do you think? If it was 5 pounds in 1700, how much do you think it is right now? Take a guess. Well, it is 150 pounds of sugar that the average American consumes every single year. Now, I'm just gonna read out a quote. So Tyler Graham in Happiness Diet writes, "Over the course of the past 200 years, we've increased our sugar intake by 3,000%. This is the single biggest change to the human diet since the invention of fire." So the problem with refined sugar is that it spikes your blood sugar way up, only to have it crashing down a few moments later, all right? So all these, if you are spiking your blood sugar too much regularly in this manner, then that will result in a decreased insulin sensitivity, whereby your pancreas is releasing more and more insulin to deal with the same amount of sugar, all right? So your body is not responding to insulin how it should. And a decreased insulin sensitivity not only lowers your testosterone levels, not only does it make you gain more fat, but it also can lead to, in extreme cases, type 2 diabetes, all right? Now, there's no one that will tell you that eating refined sugar is good for you, but this is definitely something you need to avoid, all right? So ice cream, cookies, fucking any sweets that are spiking your blood sugar and making it go way up, only to have it crashing down, is throwing your insulin levels out of whack. And insulin is a master hormone, and if you experience decreased insulin sensitivity because of eating too much refined sugar, then that will make you experience all the negative side effects that you want to avoid. Now, just on a side note, we have been eating sugar for thousands of years, but it has always been coming to us in the form of the fibrous package of fruit, all right? Not in this refined form where it instantly enters the bloodstream and spikes our blood sugar. So the first thing you need to avoid is refined sugar. And that brings us to the second testosterone lowering food, and that is refined grains. Now, before the industrialization, all wheat was stone ground, and what that means is that we were unable to separate the germ from the kernel. Then industrialization rolled around, and that gave us the power to ground the wheat with the iron rollers, whereby we could separate the germ from the kernel. Now, although the germ is what packs the wheat full of fiber and nutrition, it is also what causes the wheat to spoil faster. So after the industrialization, we started grinding the wheat with iron rollers so that we could separate the germ from the kernel and effectively give the wheat a longer shelf life so that it could be transported around the world. But the problem with eating refined grains is that they actually have the same effect on your body as refined sugar. They spike your blood sugar way up, only to have it crashing down a few moments later. And what's more is that eating refined grains actually reduces your body's ability to synthesize vitamin D, which is crucial not only for testosterone but a multitude of other functions as well. So the bottom line is that you should avoid refined grains and switch them out for more complex carbs like starchy vegetables, kidney beans, and brown rice. And that brings us to the third testosterone lowering food, and that is vegetable oils. Now, vegetable oils do have the word vegetable in them, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy, all right? Vegetable oils contain an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio that's completely out of whack. Now, omega-3s are anti-inflammatories and omega-6s are inflammatories. Now, your body needs both to maintain optimal function, but the problem with these vegetable oils is that they contain a ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s that's completely out of whack. Something like 16 to 1 in the favor of omega-6s. And the result of this is chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation leaves you at an increased risk for developing a number of chronic diseases. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, IBS, just to name a few, all right? Now, before the industrialization, we did not have vegetable oils. Today, the average American consumes more than 20% of his calories from soybean oil alone, all right? So what you need to do is ditch the canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, all of these vegetable oils. You need to ditch them completely and start cooking your food in olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, butter. These are the foods that you should be consuming more of, all right? Ditch the vegetable oils completely because they're causing chronic inflammation. Not only does chronic inflammation lower your testosterone levels, but it leaves you at an increased risk of developing a number of other conditions as well. So there you have it. 3 energy sucking foods that are destroying your testosterone levels and hindering your ability to show up as a man, all right? Refined sugar, refined carbs, and vegetable oils are the 3 foods that the science is unequivocally clear on are not doing your body any good, all right? Avoid them, ditch them, reduce your consumption of them, and doing so will help you not only increase your testosterone levels, but it'll help you move towards a life of more health, energy, and fulfillment as well. This has been Mo Salim from tripleyourt.com, and I'll see you soon.